So what do I mean by balanced and holistic? Let me just give you a little example. So just keep in mind, though, that it has to do with your individual needs and any limitations that you have. We have to always consider these, right? Injuries and all that stuff I mentioned earlier. But basically, a balanced and holistic program would typically include, number one, proper core function and postural and joint alignment. That's always first, okay? We always want to establish that. That's why, again, these cookie cutter box programs, everybody's doing the same thing. Stuff you get off of the internet because you like the way someone's body is and you want to look like them, so you're just doing what they're doing. All that is not a good idea. You really need to know, how's your body functioning? What are your issues? How is your posture? What's going on with your joints? Do you have restrictions? Okay, so that's number one. And obviously, making sure your core works properly, else you're definitely going to get hurt at some point. Number two is stability. So that's joint stability. Okay, keeping the correct alignment while moving through space. Number three is mobility. I just talked about the importance of mobility, is the ability for the body to move properly. And, it's basically flexibility that's dynamic is basically what mobility is. Number four is functional and integrated strength. Okay, now I didn't put just strength on purpose. Okay, functional, meaning you don't work out just to look cool in the gym, right? You work out because you want the rest of your day, the other 23 hours, to move better, right? That's why how you train, your technique is so important. Can I just put 10 underlines under the word so? Technique is numero uno, which is Spanish for those of you who didn't know what I just meant. Just kidding. I know you know what that meant. But your technique is always number one, okay? So functional and integrated strength is about moving for better function, for a better life, for a better body, to enhance your life, okay? So making it functional means doing movements that you use in your life, moving the body the way the body was supposed to move, not the way a bodybuilder trained to aesthetically look good to pose on stage. Okay, so be careful with that. A lot of these weight training programs are based on bodybuilder goals. Remember I mentioned before, the program has to be based on your needs and goals? Well, if you want to aesthetically look good and have every single muscle pop and just stand on stage and basically not move, then you might want to train that way. But if you want to just have a beautiful, functioning, lean, toned, fit, healthy, feel-good body, then you might want to train another way, which is what we call functional, okay? And that's out of the scope of this episode to get into, but we can talk about that if you want to, so just let me know. Just send me a message on Instagram, FitAmyTV, or email me at amy@amyfournier.com and let me know what you want me to talk about. Okay, number 5 is your cardiovascular fitness, which most of us pretty much understand. Number 6 would be balance. These are the components of a holistic program. By the way, notice I'm not just saying cardio and strength, right? I got 9 of them for you. 9, okay? Proper core function, postural, and joint alignment is 1. Stability is 2. Mobility is 3. Functional and integrated strength is 4. Cardiovascular fitness is 5. 6 is balance. This is like, I don't know, I'm like really in on the balance. If you take my classes online with me, I'm always talking about sneaking in little balance challenges, either at our cool down or whatever. Just, standing on one leg. Even I tell people, do it when you're pumping gas. Just stand on one leg or whatever. Just sneak in balance to your life, because remember, you get what you train, right? Don't say, my balance is awful. I don't have any good balance. I got to hold on to a chair. Well, then you're never going to have good balance, right? You get what you train. So sneak it into your life. Number 7 is flexibility. Okay, so a lot of us are aware what that is, obviously. And 8, hey, agility. How's your agility doing? Okay, I have to have really good agility because my little Charlotte, my little 5-pound little Yorkie, she often gets under my feet. when I'm doing something, I'm stationary, working or reading or whatever, and I'll go to move, and she's sitting right like 2 inches from my foot, and often I might almost step on her. And when you have a dog that small, you could actually break its bones. And it actually happens all the time with these little breeds. And oh my God, you better believe I have to have agility. And sometimes I almost hurt myself because I jump out of the way, and that's agility. It's just moving quickly and keeping everything together and not losing your marbles, so to speak, right? So that's agility. Agility is very important, particularly as we get older. And it's another way of thinking of moving with grace and ease, or again, you don't want to be like that Tin Man, right? Like on a track. No, we want to flow. And that takes us back to our Aphrodite energy, right? You want to flow. You want to be open and mobile, and things can be respond quickly and just kind of go with it rather than being rigid and stuck. And lastly, the last component of holistic fitness is power. Now, this one is kind of optional because you have to be very careful with this one, because you definitely don't want to be deadlifting 400 pounds if your core isn't working properly, or you don't have good joint mobility, range of motion, you don't have good technique and all that stuff. So power is load under time. Moving heavy things quickly is a way of having power. But guess what? A lot of us are doing power things without having the proper foundation of joint stability, core function, etc., etc. When we do things like these harder workouts, jumping onto boxes, or basically any time both feet leave the ground is a power exercise, okay? So we just have to be very careful, and I mentioned that ninth one as optional because, again, it really depends on you and, what you're starting from, what you're working with. So to incorporate these 8 or 9 components of physical fitness requires using your available time intelligently and methodically in order to achieve your desired outcome. The order is important, okay? Remember, the order is really important, and it really should be followed in succession. So when you're at a place that you can write down what they were, whether you're watching this, maybe you can write it down. As you know, the show is on YouTube most of the time at FitAmyTV. You can watch the show. Hello. And which is cool. But, just go ahead and jot them down. But the order that I wrote them is actually very important. And because you always want to start with establishing a strong foundation of proper alignment, core function, and then moving on to joint stability, overall mobility. And then once that's established, typically you can allot some time to each of the other components, okay? So, just time accordingly. So this is the holistic approach, and one that can intelligently help you achieve your desired results quite nicely, regardless of your age or situation.